Hi guys, welcome back to our live show. We'll wait a couple minutes for everyone to show up and their comments to come on. As you can tell by the title of this, we're talking about The Last Affair by Margot Hunt, and we have Kendra and our guest host, which is Tia and all the books.
Hi.
To take a couple minutes just for everyone to trickle in and their comments to show up and everything. Just because some people it takes them a little bit to get here. We have Colette and Gayleen. They're both here. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Tia, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself and your channel in case someone hasn't seen you before?
Sure. Hi, I'm Tia. My channel is Tia and all the books. I read pretty much everything from thrillers, romance, historical fiction, some fantasy and sci-fi, classics. Maybe just not horror.
You also read like middle grade and stuff too, right?
Oh yeah, and middle grade too, yeah.
I think you read like the widest variety of genres of anyone I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
it makes it kind of hard to find a place to fit in.
Yeah, you read a little bit of everything. Hi, Nicole. Nicole's here too. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that we have some of our friends showing up. I'm sure most of them already know your channel too, though, because I feel like there's a lot of crossover between people who watch like all our channels probably. Yeah. But there's certain genres of like your viewership might not watch mine because like I don't read like some of the same genres as you, and like vice versa. Same with Kendra and stuff. Except Kendra, you and I read mostly the same genres, except you had more fantasy than me.
Yeah, I did read one fantasy book this month, so I'll at least have that.
Getting there. So we should start out maybe with saying what we all rated it and seeing what all the people who are in the live show with us, like what they rated it to. I'd be kind of curious. I know what you guys did, but you know. So I rated it 4 stars. I think I rated it the highest of everyone.
Yeah, I rated it a 2.5.
And I'm not sure. I feel like I'm between 2.5 and 3. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely see where you guys are coming from with your low ratings. I know that like a couple of people, like the ratings were on the lower side or kind of like middle of the road, like just kind of everywhere. Like no 5 stars, that's for sure. I haven't seen anyone give it 5 stars.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just taking a moment for those comments to come in, I think. Oh, here we go. They like all popped up at once. Hi, Chloe. Like 3, 3.5, 2.5, and 4. So you're with me, Colette. You also gave it 4. So we'll kind of talk about like maybe non-spoilery things first, then we'll talk about a little more spoilery things, like maybe the ending, and then, you know, as usual, go through at the end and just talk about stuff that has nothing to do with the book. But you have your physical copy, right, Kendra?
Yep.
In case anyone's here who hasn't read it, this is the book that we ended up reading for the month of April.
Yep.
So has anyone read her previous books? Like, I know you guys haven't.
No.
I'm curious if any of the people watching, because I read one of her previous books, but not both. I know Nicole has read one of them as well. We both liked that one a lot. I'm sure some comments will come through. But yeah, I'm curious if like most people, it's their first time like trying this author. I feel like if this is their first time trying this author, it might make them not want to read the rest of her books.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I feel like it was an easy read, and it's not like it was boring, but I mean, I wish it was more thrilling.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about that. I think the issue is like most of these books, and I was talking about this with Nicole like not a long time ago, is they're being labeled as thrillers when they're like not thrillers at all. Like they're more, like you said, Tia, like a family drama
with a murder.
Right. Yeah. Like it's not thrilling. Like I felt like I was watching a train wreck. Like I knew for a fact like I wasn't going to be thrilled and like blown out of my seat, but I was more just like interested in the drama.
Mhm.
And I think that's what I was like watching, like, because we had the three perspectives of Gwen, Nora, and Abby, was it,
Abby.
the daughter?
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, Gwen is terrible. Like, she's so awful. And like Abby is a melodramatic like teenager. And I felt kind of bad for Nora. I mean, yeah, she cheated on her husband, but he was a deadbeat husband.
Yeah. He's bad. He's really bad.
Nicole
Is her first book a thriller?
I haven't read her
or
first
more
book,
like the same?
but her second book was similar. It was just kind of watching a train wreck. But
Okay.
it was more, the premise of that one is basically there's this married couple. They're both lawyers, and they have this conversation on their first date about they would know how to get away with murder because they know the law. And now it's like they have a like elementary school child and figure out that his principal was molesting some of the children at the school, including their son. So they plot to murder the principal.
Interesting.
And it's about their crazy marriage, for better and worse. And that's what it's called, For Better and Worse. Yeah. And so I really liked that one, but I wouldn't say it was like a thriller. I don't know. What do you think, Nicole? Because you read it. I'll have to see what she says. But
I agree with Nicole. Definition of a thriller. Needs to
yeah,
have plot twists, turns, and suspense. Agreed.
I agree.
I
I
don't
didn't
know,
think
maybe
it had much.
No, I didn't think so either. Like, I feel like maybe you going in knowing that it wasn't a thriller, more of a mystery, you had a different outcome, like enjoyment of the book versus me going in like I thought it was gonna be a thriller, and I'm like, I'm halfway through, there's no twist. What the heck?
Yeah,
So,
I knew ahead of time. And I was seeing Chloe saying that it's kind of a bummer we knew from the start who was killed, because it was obvious who was killed at the beginning, like Gwen, because I think Josh was brought in that first chapter or something, or their last name or something.
It was paving stones, right? Because she was saying she was killed with paving stones, and they had been working on redoing their driveway or whatever.
Well, they even say the name. Victim is Gwen Landon on page.
Oh, they did that?
Yeah. And so, like, we knew from the start, like, who was killed, and then we just were trying to figure out who was the killer, which oh, that's so funny. Chloe said it was more Leon Moriarty-esque, and that was literally what I was just saying. Yeah. But I don't know. I felt like the killer was really obvious, which is funny, Kendra. Like, we were all talking, and like T and I knew who the killer was, and we both thought it was obvious. And you're like, nope, I think it's this person. It's so obvious, and it wasn't that person.
True.
And so,
I would say I didn't expect that person to be the killer because she was just a very small bit. And I mean, I don't want to say who it is yet. We'll wait for a little bit, I guess. But I don't know.
I did second guess myself a little bit. I thought, well, maybe they're just bringing in this other person to confuse us.
I thought the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the end, I started to second guess myself because there's so many people like coming in and out of the ending. Right. And I'm like, I am like so confused a little bit.
And I
don't really know.
Weird towards the end when we got like Carter and Josh's perspective too. And I'm like, well, why are we getting their perspective now when we never did the whole entire book?
Yeah, that was weird. Do you guys feel like Gwen got what was coming to her?
Yeah.
I kept wondering if she was a psychopath, like the absolute definition of a psychopath, because she doesn't have any emotions. She doesn't really care about anybody.
She's like a sociopath.
A sociopath, not a psychopath.
Yeah, a sociopath is like more narcissistic.
Yeah, and that's what she was. For sure, yeah.
And that's what the husband, like, so I know a lot of people, like, they dislike cheating, like, in books and stuff. Do you think that the cheating was possibly a little justified, or what did you think of the affair? Were you rooting for the people having the affair, or were you like, no, I think they should stop this affair?
That's a hard question.
Well, whenever I read stuff like this, I feel like I don't want them to get caught. Like, I feel kind of nervous for them. But at the same time, I'm hoping that they come clean, and just get a
Yes.
divorce and then have your relationship.
Yes. But I also understood, like, they did bring up a conversation about the custody and, like, that what state were they in? They were in a state where it was like Florida, yeah, where it was like 50-50. So no matter what, both the parents got 50-50 on custody. And so I think, at least I think it was Nora maybe who was talking about custody. Like thinking about, well, I'm not going to get to see my kids. And then my ex-husband is my husband is possibly like an abuser and an alcoholic. And so she didn't want them to be like stuck with him as well.
Yeah. I agree with Chloe. Like, who kicks their daughter out of their house?
That was pretty bad. I mean, I was not surprised just because of her personality, and she was already like showing that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
I agree, Colette. Cheating is never okay, but I still felt bad for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Nicole was saying she was rooting for the couple because she knew it like ended a murder, and this all had to happen for like a reason, but what would be the point if they weren't going to be together?
Oh, and then giving the dog to an animal control. Like, what? I'm taking the dog to the animal shelter.
Right. It's either your new dog or I'm getting rid of it.
Yeah.
What?
And she didn't even want her husband. She didn't even love him. She just didn't want to look stupid in front of other people.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
And Chloe said, which they weren't together in the end, so what was the point? So I guess we could probably just discuss the end because we've all here read it. But I felt like the ending was like such a letdown, and that's why I ended up giving it like a little bit, like docked a little bit of points off of it because the ending sucked.
Yeah. and like the very last chapter about Abby, like why did you have to include that in there?
That was stupid. I didn't like that at all.
I think if that chapter was not in there, I probably would have gave it a little bit of a higher rating.
Yeah. What do you think, Tia?
Well, I feel like the ending was sort of the most interesting part. The rest was just all the affair. Like the whole thing was just them sneaking around, I felt like. I mean, we got to know Gwen's personality and sort of why they were doing what they were doing, but the ending when everything went down was more interesting to me. And then with Abby, I feel like they were sort of showing maybe she has the same personality as her mom. Like, is it genetic?
Yeah. She clearly also was just like so caught up by her breakup with her boyfriend. Like, oh, like, cheaters are cheaters. Yeah. And then she kept blaming it on her friend, but then her boyfriend was obviously like a liar and keeping things from her, but she's like, no, he's still like so great. And then like the two people who were having the affair, Nora and Josh, like they ended up breaking up in the end. And then Abby was still like, I'm going to get revenge on her. And it's like, okay, well now it's pointless because they're broken up.
Yeah. And like she put like tracking devices on their cars and everything. Like,
that's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a weird ending. But I agree with Tia, like it was more thrill, like the ending was good, but just that last little bit, like why did you have to add that in there?
Oh, I didn't like the chapter with Tara either.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Like, like
what's up with her
together?
Like how are you like I didn't understand how she was so obsessed with him when all she did was drop off some cookies and gave his kids like Christmas gifts, and then like the other time they talked at like that charity thing, ball thing, whatever.
I do think like her behavior was inappropriate, but I don't like understand. We don't understand why she's so obsessed. We don't understand why she keeps having these obsessions with people. We know nothing about her, so she was kind of just this like throwaway character that was just added to be like dun dun dun. It's not who you expect.
Yeah. But it was. It was.
Yeah, I felt like I was like, as soon as I saw her pop up, I'm like, she's going to be the one who kills Gwen because she wants her husband. But I'm like, it can't be that obvious, right? It was.
I kept hoping. I thought it would be more interesting if it was Josh who did it. the husband.
I was hoping it would
know,
be
if
the
they
daughter, Abby.
Abby. That would
Yeah,
have been
like
more
she
interesting.
snaps and kills her mom because she hates her so much.
That would have been a good ending. You should have wrote the end of the book.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Let's see here. Colette was saying she thought it was a train wreck from the get-go, which
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was saying. And she also thought that the killer was Nora, which is exactly what you thought, Kendra.
That's what I thought too. I thought it was Nora.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and then Abby, the meeting that she observed was the couple breaking up. So, and yet she was like, I'm going to kill her.
Yeah.
And Chloe agrees with you, Tia. She thinks that both of the ladies are probably sociopaths. I felt really bad for Nora. I think she's in a really tough situation with her
She said they hadn't
husband.
had sex in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Did you remember that part? I was
Yes.
like, what?
Well, I mean, her
who
husband
was
was
She was hard up.
alcoholic, made her had a miscarriage.
Yeah, like what the heck?
Yes, oh my gosh.
What a piece.
I would not be able to stay with the man who hit me in the stomach and made me
no.
had a miscarriage.
Heck
That was just
no.
like such a weird thing that was added in. Like I didn't feel like it was that much alluded to. And all of a sudden she just like threw that out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like him at all.
Nicole thought that if it wasn't Tara, it was going to be Carter like drunkenly killing.
Well, I mean, he was
Glenn.
there, which I thought
Yeah.
was weird.
Right, and then he ran away and he was like covered in blood. Was that him that was all covered in blood?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I can't even remember how he was covered in blood.
because
I
he was checking her to see if she was alive or not.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, why would you do that? If you, I don't know.
Because he was drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you do anything when you're drunk, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't get enough backstory on like, but I wish we had gotten a little bit more history, like maybe some past chapters of like those marriages.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I mean, I do like how it was different perspectives because I feel like it was more interesting that way. Because I think if it was all just one person, it would have been very boring.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I mean, I felt like up until you got to the twist part, it was just so much build up. And it's like, come on, get to the point already. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely was not a like thriller. That's for
No.
sure. It wasn't like thrilling or anything like that. I think I enjoyed it like a little bit more than maybe you guys. Not because I didn't love the ending more or anything like that. Like I didn't like the ending. But you know when you like read a book and you're in like a certain mood or it puts you in a certain mood and because like you enjoyed your time and like it was easy or like who knows, whatever the reason, like you end up giving it a higher rating, but then say you're in like a really crappy mood and you read like a book that maybe normally you would like, but then because you're in a crappy mood, like then you end up giving it a lower rating. So maybe I was a little generous just because I was in a great mood that day or something. I don't know. Because like looking back and like talking to you guys, I'm like, oh, I hated this and I hated this, but I gave it 4 stars.
I know when you said you hated the ending, and I'm like, well, how did you rate it a 4-star then?
Well, I only knocked off like I don't know. I knocked off like a point. I was like, oh, let's knock off a point for the crappy ending. I don't know. And Nicole said she does the same thing, so I'm glad I'm not alone. And sometimes it's
I
just
do
my
too.
mood.
I do too. It depends.
Sometimes I'll be in a bad mood and I read like a romance. I'm like, this is stupid. All these people are stupid. This would never happen in real life, and I'm just being grumpy.
Yeah.
I feel like it was interesting at the beginning. I was interested in what was going to happen, but then it just felt like it was the same thing. Like, oh, are we going to meet? Where are we going to meet? You know, it got repetitive until the end.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was fairly short. I mean, how many pages was it? I mean, it looks short.
I think it was like 330.
Yeah, 329.
329. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. Like, it read really fast.
Yeah.
Considering there was repetitive elements, like it still read really fast. I've read some books lately that like I just feel like are taking me forever to read, and not because they're that long, just because I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
Takes forever. Yeah. Chloe says she also does that with romance. So I guess I'm not the only one who
Yeah. No.
mood affects my ratings.
You know, I liked that Nora was a food blogger, though. I thought that was an interesting profession that I don't read about that much.
I wish we had seen a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
It was kind of sad her husband like diminished her career, considering she said she made like almost just as much as him. And it was more considered like a hobby when it was really truly a career.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is can't win them all. Yeah, this one I think was like pretty decent. I think for me it was on like a very similar level to that one we read back in December. Was it that Robin Harding one that was like good, but then the ending to me like sucked? Remember that one?
Yeah,
Her Pretty Face.
Yeah, I'm trying to even remember.
It's about it's a domestic about two women, and one of them is a killer, sociopath.
Yeah.
I kind of felt similar thoughts, but I think that one I gave 3.5 stars, and this one I gave 4. But yeah, I think they kind of were similar in that way, where the ending was a little bit lackluster, and it was just like, is that it? That one had even more of an abrupt ending than this one did. Have you read that one, Tia?
No, I haven't.
Have you read anything by that author?
No, Robin Harding, is that what you said?
Yeah. She has a handful of books out. I haven't really loved either of the ones I've read. I have an arc of hers, but
like the premise sounds really good in her
every
book,
time,
but the execution is horrible.
Yeah, I would agree. I haven't read her newest book yet, but
I mean, like that one, it sounds so good. It's like, ooh, I really want to read that, but I'm like, I probably just give it 3 stars. So why waste my time?
Yeah, it's called The Swap, and it is about
swingers.
swingers,
Oh, yeah,
two
I've seen that.
swinger couples, and I'm like, well, that's a thriller about swingers. Like, sign me up.
So when you read stuff like this book, does it make you wonder, like, is this how people are? Like, is everyone having an affair around me?
People are 100% like that. When I was a property manager, like it opened my eyes to how much like people are ridiculous. And I remember like we got a lot of like domestic violence happening. A lot of military lived at the property I worked at, and there was a lot of domestic violence among the military members. Like there was this one family that both people were active duty, and they had a young baby, and the cops were called because it was spouse abuse and child endangerment. So I'm pretty positive the guy like hit his girlfriend or hit his wife while she was holding the infant. And they were both like active duty military, and he would come in and be kind of a jerk, and I still had to be like respectful to him, knowing that he beat on his girlfriend and possibly his baby.
No.
Yeah, we had a lot of people like that who like lived at the property, and you're just like, people are weird. I think like years, and I live in a really nice area, and like a few years before I started working there, someone got raided by FBI because they were hoarding and distributing child pornography.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. We got lots of weird people that there was a guy that lived and worked at the property. Like he didn't work at the property, but I think he did like some home business stuff. Anywho, I'm pretty positive he had an escort service. Like 99% positive. Oh, we also had a ton of like strippers. We had some strippers. They weren't active duty. Those are just like people who lived there. They made bank. One of them, I'm pretty positive, was an escort, and the other one was a stripper. Let me just say the escort was like far more classy, but she had way less personality because I think she takes on whatever personality like her clients want, whereas the stripper, like she was a spitfire. She had a ton of personality.
Wow, Shelby.
Yeah.
A lot of stories there.
Oh, I could go on forever. Yeah, it's what happens when you manage an apartment community of like 300 apartments. And like, it's weird. I always thought like, oh, military, like they would be like pretty normal people. They were like weird. Half of them were just weird, and some of them were like really rude. And some of the spouses who had higher ranking husbands, they take on the rank of their husband. Well, my husband and I are this rank, and I'm like, we're not this rank. And they would talk down to me because, you know, they know I'm a military spouse. I'm like, hey, well, right now I'm your property manager. Like, give me your money. It's like fun. It was a fun job, I guess, but I would never go back to it.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
I guess, yeah.
So lots of affairs, because that's what, when I read these kind of things, I always go to my husband like, listen, these people are having an affair. You're not doing that, are you? It always makes me like feel crazy. You know what I mean? And he's like, Tia, I hate it when you read these kind of things. Like, is everyone doing this and I just don't know about it?
I think yes and no. Like, it depends. Like, I feel like, yeah. Like, I knew people, like my parents' friends. I heard stories, and I'm like, wow. You know, like, I wouldn't think that would happen. Like, maybe you don't associate with people who do that, but there could be different types of people that you don't associate with that they do that. Like, that would be more common among certain, like, I don't know, like a certain like little housing community or something, like all these people who are more similar in personality. Maybe.
So
I feel like
funny story. In the area that I live in, there was this TV show that dealt with swingers. I can't remember what channel it was on.
And it was in your area?
It was like in like my neighborhood. Yeah. A bunch of swingers apparently live in my neighborhood.
I found out a family friend of mine was the married couple where my mom told me that they were swingers, and I was just like, I was like, I wish you hadn't have told me that. Like, I didn't need to know that.
Yeah, I feel like this book was kind of a study in like, is this affair justifiable? You know, is it ever okay? What makes it okay to have an affair? Do you think so? That she was trying to make some sort of statement about like, well, if your husband is an alcoholic and you haven't had sex in 3 years, then
I don't think it's justified, but
No.
I think it maybe explains it's not as black and white as we might think.
Yeah, I feel like that's what she was trying to say. It's sort of sometimes can be a gray area. I don't know.
Nicole says that one time there was a black vest that magically appeared in their bedroom, and she thought it was her husband's, and he's like, "It's Nicole, it's your size." And then she's like, "Well, whose vest is it if it's like not mine?"
Who was it?
And then Chloe said she used to personal train with a guy who was like over a decade older than her, and she found out he was a swinger.
I feel like it's actually really common.
I do too.
Really?
Yeah.
I must be so naive.
We jokingly say that our neighbor possibly is, because they're always having like couples over, and they're like, it's like a weird dynamic.
That is so weird.
I know. But I think it's more common than we actually think.
I wouldn't be surprised. I remember when I was on dating apps trying to like meet my husband. I met my husband on a dating app, and I remember talking to this guy, and all of a sudden he said that he was married and that they were in an open relationship. And I didn't keep talking to him because I wanted to go out with him. I was just so curious about his marriage. So I'm like, hey, dude, I'm not going to go out with you. Like, I'm really curious about like your marriage dynamic. Yeah. Just because I was like, it was entertaining. And like, he knew I wasn't going to meet him. I told him I wouldn't because I was not down to be with a, married man who's perfectly happy with his wife, apparently, but is looking for fun elsewhere that I was not willing to provide.
Why did they get married? I don't understand why you get married if you're going to keep seeing other people.
Beats
I have
me.
no idea.
Beats me. I told my husband, like, if he ever did anything like that, like, I told him, you know how all these books, like, and shows, they're like, the person's on their dying deathbed, and they're like, if you ever, like, remarry one day and find love again, you know? And I told my husband, I'm like, that is not me. If I die,
That's what
you
I
better
say
be
too.
alone forever.
That's what I say too. So mean.
I'm like, no, like, I'm it. Like, mm-mm.
That's
I'm
so
it. You're
funny.
never allowed to be with anyone again. I don't care if I die tomorrow.
I want you to be sad forever.
Oh my gosh.
And then Nicole said she doesn't know who the vest belongs to. That's so random.
That's a mystery.
And Chloe said she lives in a really small community, so she's like, says it's really funny that there must be like swinging people who do swinging in her really small town. That's so weird. Yeah, I don't understand people. Maybe you're just a little naive, Tia, wondering, like,
Well,
do people actually cheat? Do people actually do this? Apparently.
I mean, I know they do. Like the first base we were on, there was a couple of couples who were swingers. They never asked us to do anything, but
You're not supposed to do that.
My husband would see them sometimes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Kissing each other's spouses or whatever. And yeah, so it has happened before, but I didn't think it was that prevalent,
Common?
I guess.
I know so many stories about people cheating in the military. It is crazy. The girl I worked with at my apartment community, she was married to someone he was Navy, and then he went to the Air Force and in it forever. And he would cheat on her when he was deployed in the desert, like every time. And then I guess one time he made a porn video with one of his coworkers, and she stumbled upon it at home. Like, she stumbled upon the video. That's how their divorce ended up happening.
Yikes.
But it wasn't the first time. Like, he was like a serial deployed cheater. And that's why women think, oh, the husband is going to cheat on them when they deploy, or they think that active duty military women are just homewreckers because there's women out there who are active duty and they like sleep with other people's husbands, like on deployments and things. There was this one was not an active duty wife, but she was like a spouse. But there was this, they I think worked in the same department as my husband. So they worked in the same squadron. And there was this guy, two best friends who worked in the same squadron. They were both married, I think. And when one was deployed, the other one started sleeping with his wife while he was deployed. And then, like, I think, yeah, it ended up being found out about. And they lost rank because, you know, it's like against the code of conduct with the military. So you can get kicked out for it. Yeah, that sucks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I guess the best friend ended up marrying his wife, the dude's wife. Yeah, and then they still had to work together. My mind is blown. But it's crazy to me. I just didn't know. I didn't know how much cheating went on either. But I guess when people, or we hear from security forces people that tell us all the time how often people bring on like a guest and it's not their spouse, and a lot of times it's probably their whoever they're cheating on. Like, they know, like, say it's security forces and they work with someone and they know that person is deployed, and then they know the wife, like, say they know the wife, they'll see the wife and some other man coming on base together.
Jeez.
Like, all the time. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
That's crazy.
At least it happens a lot here. I don't know. It's a big base. I don't know. That's my only excuse. It's a big base. I don't know. Lots of different people. Yeah, I could go on and on about like the weirdest stories I know. Do you have any weird like military people story, Tia?
Not off the top of my head, I don't think.
Oh, just me? Okay. I think it's like interesting to learn about like because the military brings in like such a variety of people from all different backgrounds, from like all different places and all different ages, and so there's like so many different maturity levels. Like people join in like right after high school, even like 17 sometimes, and so they join and they don't know anything about life, and they end up just getting themselves in trouble, like with money or whatever, with their personal life, like
Yeah.
just everything, and it just like is a small display of like what everyone is like, not just military people. It's just a small display of what everyone is like. And I think sometimes people get themselves in a little more trouble with the military because it's a really steady paycheck and all these things. And so they sometimes spend more money or get all these like special things. And it's like everyone gets a Camaro when they join the Air Force. I feel like it's like the starter pack is a Camaro, like Camaro or a Charger, I think a Dodge Charger.
Interesting. It's different for Army then.
Mustangs. Oh well, Army and Air Force are a little bit different. Army, like, always really jealous of Air Force bases. They're fancy, but yeah, I've met some like Army people who have like went from being Army to like Air Force.
Well, Army and Air Force are closer together than the other ones. They're more friendly towards each other.
Yeah, I know they all have different names for each other.
Yeah.
Which I always think is funny. But I don't know what the deal is with rivalries with military branches.
I don't either.
I don't get it. I don't get it personally, but they all have their thing. I guess I don't get it because I'm not a member myself.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak on it.
I don't know. Tia, if you didn't know, my brother's in the Army National Guard, and he's in Korea.
Okay.
He's been there for like 3 years.
Oh, okay.
He's stuck there now because he can't come home. He's supposed to come home in September.
Yeah, all the travel bans.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll get to come home in September.
Yeah, all the deployments have been halted, and so everyone is like stuck overseas as well.
Well, I think he did start back to work last week or the week before. So at least they're going back to work in Korea.
Oh wow! So he's working in like an actual office or not from home?
No, he works. He does like project management there. So whatever building they're managing, he's been going to work. So
Tia, is your husband working from home or is he working in where he works, or is he deployed?
He's working from home. Lots and lots of Zoom meetings and conference calls, and
yeah. Has he been enjoying being at home a little bit more?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. But I think the conference calls and the Zoom meetings kind of get old because he has multiple ones every day, and they last forever. It's like he can't get any actual work done because he's always on a conference call.
That must be frustrating.
That's annoying.
I wonder, like, if everyone watching, are you guys all like at home or like?
I'm technically essential personnel, so I go into work 2 days a week. Well, I went in today. Like I only go in for like a short amount of time because I have to autoclave the animal waste because we haven't gotten rid of our animals. We have to. Well, they didn't euthanize them, so we have to still take care of them. So yeah, I have to go in and autoclave their bedding. That's what I've been doing.
So what is autoclaving, like disposing of them?
So it's like a huge pressure cooker, basically. It gets up pretty hot, and then it gets to a certain pressure, and then you just let it go for a certain amount of time. And then what we do in Ohio, what we're allowed to do is once you autoclave something for so long, the bio waste, we can throw in our dumpster, like our landfill.
Oh, interesting.
Which is way cheaper than getting something incinerated. That's expensive.
So you work for a vet then?
No, I work for the EPA. Like I'm a contractor to the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency.
She works in a lab.
Yep, I work in a lab.
Nicole, I forgot you're still on maternity leave. I feel like it's been longer than that. I mean, how old is your daughter now, Sydney? 8 months?
Seven, 8?
7? 8? 7 maybe? I don't know. Feels like it's been a long time. I don't know. But yeah,
I mean, I
I've
guess it's a good
7
year to
months.
take off for maternity leave.
Yeah. Well, and your husband now is teaching from home, so at least we get to all be together. My mother-in-law, she's a teacher, and she's been teaching from home, and she says like it's been a lot of work. 7 months. Okay. Yeah, we were close. Yeah, teachers I think are having a lot of work right now, like teaching from home and having to try to communicate with every child and all the worrying parents, and it must be a lot of work.
Yeah.
For however many kids they have in all their different classes and everything.
That would be a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have to say that I get way more work done at home versus being in the office.
You think so?
Oh, for sure. Because everyone comes in my office and is like bugging you or asking, everybody coming in, oh, how's it going? How's your day?
Right.
I just feel like I get way more done.
Chloe said she's at home, but she's always at home. Yep, same, Chloe. Me too.
Same.
And
Me
then
too.
Colette said that she
public
drives
bus.
public bus. That would be
That's scary.
That would be really hard. I
Yeah.
feel for you. I saw a news story about a public bus driver, and it just sounds really difficult right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure like you have to wear a mask and everything on the bus, right? I'm not really sure like how all that works right now.
Our governor just made it mandatory anytime we are at work, we have to wear a mask or in public.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Everywhere?
Today, yeah, was the first day.
On base, we're required at all the, if we can't keep a 6-foot distance, we have to. So the hospital, the BX, the commissary, we have to wear masks. What about you, Tia, on your base? Do you have to do that?
So my husband works at a really small base, but we go to the BX at the Air Force Base here, but we haven't been since all this went down, so I don't know.
Okay.
Probably, I would guess you have to. I mean, you have to wear them to the grocery store here and, all the stores that you go to.
Because you're in Southern California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not making us wear them like in our, like the rest of our county, but they're making us wear them like in the base. The hospital is super strict. I had my anatomy scan last week, and I had to wear a mask the whole time for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to going back to work having to wear a mask for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how nurses do it when they have to wear a mask for like 12 hours. I don't know how they do it.
I don't either. That's like crazy to me.
I know.
So, Chloe, I don't know if I'm allowed to say what state you live in, but she said that her state, she's in the Midwest, and their shelter in place expires Sunday, and they are talking about like a rollout plan for reopening. That's crazy. Mine is, ours is extended all the way until the end of May here.
We're never reopening California. That's what I feel like.
Our shelter in place is kind of like indefinite, I guess, but we are reopening everything, like rolling out, like Chloe's saying. Like on Monday, offices, manufacturers, and somebody else is allowed to start back to work, but they can't go like all at once. They have to like stagger people coming in. Everyone has to wear masks, and if you can still telework. But and then like the next week, I want to say it's, gosh, what is it? I don't remember what the next week is. It's someone else. And then the third week is like retail stores. I'm like, are you kidding me? Which is insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But I wonder
if they're going to institute like everybody has to wear a mask to go to, any store now.
Yeah, like that's how it is going to be here. Well,
like the retail stores. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you limit like how many people go in the retail store, like that would be positive.
Well, then like we're not allowed to have more than 10 people together. So I don't see how that's any different than when you go to a grocery store, there's like nowhere between 20 to 50 people.
Right.
I don't know. And then they said that hair salons and barbers, they don't know when they're going to open. I'm like, I need my hair done so bad.
I really want to get a pedicure. I just want someone to rub my feet. Like, I feel pregnant. I just want to like lay in a chair, not have a toddler come and bother me, and just like close my eyes.
Yes.
My doctor today, so I had to come in for my hip, and she said, I'm not trying to sound mean, but like, are you okay? You just look like more tired than usual today. I was like, I'm always tired. And I was wearing my mask when I pulled it up. I was like, do I look more normal now? And she was like, oh yeah, the mask made you look way worse. Like, oh, nice. Let's see. I'm looking at some of these comments.
I trimmed my own hair the other day.
Did you?
That's bold. That's
But
bold.
I mean, I don't think you can tell. I just like gathered it up and just cut a little off.
Oh,
I'd be so
gosh.
nervous.
But my ends were like so dead. I was like, no, I can't handle this anymore. I just cut them.
Have you cut your girl's hair or anything?
No, I offered to cut my littlest one because she has pretty thin hair and I think it would be easy. But my oldest has really, really thick hair and she wants me to cut her hair. And I was like, no, there's no way I'm doing your hair. It's way too thick. I would mess it all up.
Yeah, that would. I've heard cutting thick hair is kind of a task. Getting it like all straight. Does it have like a wave or anything to it that makes it more
A little
difficult?
bit, yeah. A little.
Yeah. Yeah, my husband just like, he has not a lot of hair left. He like premature bald at like 19. So he has like very minimal hair. He just like uses the clippers. So I'm very lucky I didn't have to like give him a haircut because I don't trust myself with that.
Yeah.
My husband needs one too, but we don't have stuff for men's haircuts here.
You don't have clippers?
No. We have dog clippers to shave the dog if we need to.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
He'll come over there and be like, woof, woof. You could probably order some off of Amazon.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Ears and like clippers. If you really needed to. Chloe was saying it was hard to reach her toes or shave her legs without getting woozy because she's pregnant. I feel you. Yeah, I don't even bother half the time. My husband, like, I'm like, oh, like, I need to shave my legs or something. I wear leggings most of the time. And he's just like, I don't really care. I don't notice. Like, you can never shave your legs for the rest of your life and I wouldn't care.
Oh,
wow.
I have blonde hairs.
You're lucky. I have dark brown hair, so.
And the only time I shave my legs is when I have to, if I wear like shorts in public.
Yeah.
I can't see them, so what's the point?
Yeah,
Unless
if you're wearing pants.
the sun is like directly on like my leg, then you can like tell. It's like, oh, girl, you need to shave your legs. But yeah, I don't ever shave my legs.
Chloe says she needs a wax and a pedicure. And then Gayleen said she cut her husband's hair. Her hairdresser threatened her about cutting her own hair. And then a couple other people have like clippers too, and they look like nervous to cut their hair.
Yeah, my hairdresser would flip his shit if I cut my hair or colored it. Because he would spend more time fixing it than anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't cut my own hair. I haven't cut my hair in like 2 years though.
You haven't like had it trimmed or anything?
No, I have like really healthy hair. Like I don't have a single split end.
Jeez, lucky you.
I'm just
wow.
lucky. I'm like, I have something going for me. Well, the one thing. But yeah, I have at least nice hair. And Avery says her roots are showing and she's debating fixing it herself. Avery, are you not a natural redhead? What hair is your Like, what color is your hair naturally? She looks like a natural redhead.
I know.
Chloe says it's because of the boy pregnancy. It's just me in general, but I guess extra because I'm having a boy. I don't know. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I still had nice hair, I think. Avery says she is a brunette, not a redhead.
Well,
That's
you
crazy.
look.
Some people, like, they dye their hair a certain color, and you would never guess that their hair was ever any other color because
I
it
know.
works so well. If I dyed my hair red, I'd look stupid. But, like, you dye your hair red and
Me
you look
too.
great. I'm like, but what's the difference? I'm pale with green eyes, but somehow, like, I don't think it would work for me. But, like, some people, like Avery, it just, like, works. It looks good
Yeah.
on them.
I
Sorry,
would
I
never
apologize
guess.
if you guys can hear my Avery downstairs. She's, like, at the bottom of the stairs at the baby gate, like, going like this and, like, crying. At least that's what it sounds like she's doing. I can't see her. She's saying, "Mama." She started saying "Mama" this week.
Aww.
Like
That's sweet.
last week she started saying "Mama" just out of nowhere. Yeah, she started saying it finally because she said "Dada" forever because it's like way easier for children to say the D, not M. So she finally said "Mama," but now she won't stop.
That's so funny, Nicole. Like, what 3 different hair colors did you have?
Probably blonde,
Blonde
brunette,
and red.
red, black. I don't know. Those are the only 4 colors, right?
Purple, pink.
I mean, I just can't see Nicole with any of those colors. No offense, Nicole. I just cannot see you with like purple or pink hair.
I wish I had purple hair.
I think people with like lavender hair, it looks really cool, but they have to
I
like
do too.
bleach the heck out of their
Touch it.
hair. She said dark brown highlights and natural lightish brown. I love highlights on people. I've never dyed my hair or gotten highlights or anything.
Oh my gosh, I've been dyeing my hair since I was in high school. I was getting like highlights in high school.
Tia, have you ever dyed your hair?
I have, but I mean, I haven't done it in years. I'm going gray, just letting it go.
Are you planning on like trying to dye the gray out, or are you just going to let it naturally fade to gray?
At this point, I'm planning on letting it go to gray. My mother dyed her hair black until she was like 70, and I always thought, why are you doing that? Everyone knows your hair is not naturally black, you know? Like, I just don't want to be 70 and still dyeing my hair black.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
my grandma is 88, I think. No, somewhere around in there. And she still dyes her hair blonde.
My grandma
I feel
dyed her
like
hair
if it's
blonde forever.
blonde is a little bit better than black. You know, like blonde is closer to gray, more natural than dyeing it straight jet black.
Would she do the
Yeah.
eyebrows too, or what would she do with her eyebrows?
Her eyebrows are still dark.
Oh, nice. Do eyebrows even turn gray?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do?
Yes.
Interesting.
I haven't decided yet if when I get grays if I'm gonna dye it or not. I think I might touch it up.
I feel like people with darker hair get gray hair faster or earlier than people with blonde hair.
So true. My mom is a natural blonde and she still only highlights her hair. She's never had to like fully dye it.
Yeah, like
She just highlights
I'm
it.
34. Yeah, that's how old I am. And I don't have any gray hair.
I'm in my 20s, so I would not
Wow.
expect to have any.
I mean, it's dark at the top right now. Sporting a ombre right now.
You say that, and then tomorrow you're gonna wake up and find your first gray hair, and you're gonna be like, "I wish I hadn't have even said that."
Yeah.
I feel like they're too hard to see on blondes. Even if they have them, you don't notice them.
Yeah. My mom doesn't really have that many gray hairs.
Is she blonde?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Chloe said that her mom, only her bangs get gray, so she dyes her bangs.
Interesting.
And Nicole said her dad is in his 80s, and for the longest time would dye his beard dark black, but not his hair.
That's hilarious. My dad has dark black hair, and his beard was like salt and pepper for the longest time.
I like salt
I'm
and
just-
pepper.
You know, people have been dyeing their hair. It may not be popular anymore, but you know when they were dyeing it like all silver? Are people still doing that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was very short.
A short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think my dad, he tried to dye his hair silver once because it went like going gray, and he was trying to like do something cool, but he has really thin, fine hair, and it turned orange. And like my dad came home and like they're supposed to meet up with friends, and my mom was like, I am not meeting up with anyone with your hair like that.
Oh my god, I love it.
It was like, I don't think his hair took to I think they had to use bleach. And it did not take well. I had never seen him look so horrendous.
Oh my god.
He has like baby hair. It's like so fine that like, I don't understand why he hasn't like shaved his head. I think it's because his head is kind of egg shaped. My poor dad. If only he were watching this, he'd be like, shut your mouth. That's so funny. Let's see. Chloe said her husband's dad is light brown blonde hair with a ginger beard. I think that's a super common thing for like Irish and Scottish people.
That's what Ben's is. My husband, he has a red beard, but blonde hair.
It's super common. I think if you have like that descent.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost an hour into our live show. We're definitely not talking about the book anymore.
We've been talking about hair for a long time.
Talking about hair for a long time. It's the first time. I think it's because we have a lack of salons right now.
Do we want to announce what our next book is?
Yeah, we should. It is. I had it pulled up on my phone. Let's see.
Yeah.
You guys could kind of see it pretty decently. Let's see. Okay, I have it. It lost my place. But it is My Favorite Souvenir by Penelope Ward and Vi Keeland, which Kendra and I both read another book. I've read a few books by this author duo, and I really like them. And this one just came out like a couple of days ago, and our guest host is Cassidy from Cassidy Reads. She has a smaller YouTube channel, but she has a really big Instagram, so I'm sure a lot of you guys already have seen her on Instagram before. She reads a lot of romance, and so we wanted to choose a romance this month. And that one is about two people, I believe, who don't like each other, who get stuck at a luxury resort together. Oh, Cassidy is here. But yeah, it's about two people who don't like each other, who get stuck at a resort together. And
it's a Kindle Unlimited book too.
It is a Kindle Unlimited book. And it's Enemies to Lovers. So that I love Enemies to Lovers. And it'll be on my channel, and it's at the very last week of May, and we'll have all the details posted on the 1st. I think it's on the 26th, which is a Tuesday. We usually have it like during the week.
And same time, I believe, 8.
Yep, we always do like around the same time.
Yeah.
So, yay. I'm really excited for that one. I think it'll be really good. And I like that we kind of bounce back and forth between different genres. We don't get too sick of something. And then we can have a variety of different hosts, because not everyone likes the same type of books. So it allows us to have like a large variety of like guest hosts too. We were thinking of like asking on Instagram maybe for like some future hosts, anyone who's interested. So maybe in the future we'll post like some kind of thing about it if we are in need of another host or something. Yeah, because there's still many months left in the year.
There is.
Well, is there anything?
Are you planning on doing this all year?
Yeah, at least that's what our plan is. I think even with having the baby, we probably still would be able to. If there's ever a time that I can't do it, like last minute, like say I go into labor like the end of August, which I'm thinking I'll have the baby the end of August, and we do them at the end of the month. If for any reason last minute I would have to sit out, there's still 2 other people who can do it, and like I could just not be there that month. Yeah, it's not like it would just be Kendra by herself. So at least there would be like our guest host, and maybe I could sit in on like, you know, commenting or something. I don't know. So yeah. So even if I'm not able to come to one of them, that's okay. But yeah, we still plan on doing it the rest of the year. Yeah, as much as we can. Like, yeah, once a month. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say before we headed off?
Thanks for having me as your guest host.
Yay, we're so happy to have you. We were really excited.
And I don't think it was a bad book. It just wasn't a favorite book.
That's okay. We are totally open to trashing books on here. We don't have to love all the books we choose. Just because we chose it for a live show doesn't make it an automatically great book. It's just like every other book.
I forgot to mention that I did like that the characters were older in this one. I feel like I don't read too many books that have characters in their 40s, so that was interesting.
Oh yeah,
just thinking about books with a variety of different ages too. I like romances that are a variety of different ages as well. That's always fun. I
don't see those very often at all.
No,
you have to tell me if you see older romances.
I'll have to let you know. I actually just read one like about someone in their 40s, I think, not that long ago. I'll have to let you know. It's on Kindle Unlimited. But it's part of a series, so you'll have to go back and read the whole series. All right. Well, I see a couple people said they would like to host, so we'll definitely reach out to you guys like when the time gets closer and stuff. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. What do you think, Kendra?
Yeah.
I think we're good. I have to go make dinner. So, yeah. All right. Well, bye, everyone.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.